Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Susie here. Just another beauty guru. I know, because we just need another makeup artist on the... And I'm not even a real makeup artist. There goes my dog. The male must be here. Never fails. I hit record and the little sucker starts barking. Okay. He stopped. He started. He stopped. Pause, please. And we're back. Okay. Hopefully the dog crisis has been averted. There's a squirrel that's just driving him bonkers, so I let him go play with said squirrel. You know, and I didn't know if this was a Burlington thing, because I've only lived here like 5 or 6 years now, and I've never been in such a tiny town. But I came home from work one day, minding my own business, watching a makeup tutorial, and I swear I heard my cat knocking stuff down in the kitchen. So I get up to go see what the cat's getting into. And lo and behold, he's not getting into anything. He's in the hallway where the bathroom is, and he is just staring at the bathroom door. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then I heard something move in the bathroom. Mind you, this bathroom has no outside windows. No way to come in the house through that bathroom. Door's been shut all day because it used to be my beauty room, and I wouldn't let the cat in there because he would steal my sponges and play with my stuff. So I opened the bathroom door to find a flippin' squirrel. Mind you, he looked to be about 4 foot tall. Just jumping everywhere. He was freaking out, and he was spazzing to death, and he was chirping away. And I'm like, dude, calm down. He's probably about 18 inches long, but he looked huge, especially when he lunged at me. He was like, as soon as I opened that door, he was like, I can get out. Wow. And I was like, oh my God. I kid you not. I have never battled a squirrel in my life before I moved to this town. Let's get ready, shall we? Just doing another get ready with me. Getting ready to go see a friend. Gotta put some moisturizer on my dry ass lips. This is the Strawberry 4th Ray Beauty. Now you could find this in Ulta, and they also had a cleansing balm called Blooming something, and the cleansing balm is gone, but these are amazing. I've got like 3 or 4 of them. They're just amazing. They really help with chapped, dried lips. They last a long time, and I absolutely love them. Anyways, back to the flippin' squirrel. It's hard not to cuss on this channel, you know. And I know that Facebook frowns on it, or Facebook, oh my God. Wrong social media. YouTube frowns on it. But I'm a cusser, so if it slips out, it slips out. I did not mean to offend you. That was just a bonus. You know what I'm finding out too is I don't have a lot of clothes. And I was just going through my closet looking for something to wear on this video. And I was going through my videos, and I was like, I've worn that. I've worn that. I've worn that. I can't wear that. I can't wear that. I can't wear that. And I'm just like, I'm going to need to invest in some attire for these videos. Whether it offends you or not, come on now. This is a makeup video. You shouldn't be here and be worried about being offended. Oh my gosh, you know, I had a comment that was in another language, and I learned how to navigate through my comments today. And I was always wondering, I was like, look, somebody in another country, I was showing my friends, commented on my video. Isn't that awesome? And I said, what if it's a diss? What if it's a bad comment? What if it's something mean? I think that's awesome that someone took the time to get so offended by my makeup that they typed something mean in the comment section for me. And I left it there because it's funny to me. It cracks me up. It wasn't that mean. It was, it said something to the effect after I hit the translation button. This eye makeup is ugly when it's too much. Or something like that. Like it's ugly eye makeup because it's too much or something. And I just died. I was like, it was a bad comment. Because, you know, everybody's been so sweet in the comment section. I haven't had a lot, but I did get to go through them. And everybody has been so wonderful and sweet. And this one was like, your makeup looks like shit, dude. And I was like, but it was in another language and foreign to me. And, you know, it had different symbols and stuff. So it was like, I don't know, it was like European, like maybe German or something. But it was hilarious. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. That means so much to me. So yeah, that cracked me up. But back to the squirrel. This little sucker went through my whole living room, jumped on my Christmas tree, was up on the top of my curtains, and he's screaming and a cussing. And he's cussing me out in squirrel like nobody's business. I could tell because I've, you know, seen angry squirrels before. They throw rocks at my dog. And my husband said, throw a blanket on him. Catch him that way. So a blanket goes flying this way. A blanket goes flying that way. The little sucker just kept running and running, and I couldn't catch him, and I couldn't catch him. And I told my husband, I can't come get you because I'm afraid this thing's going to get up the stairs, and God knows where he's going to be then. So his coworker and her son came over to help me catch said squirrel. We spent about an hour and a half, and he was in the corner, trapped behind a bookshelf and the corner, and he's just cussing me out in squirrel, and he's praying to his little squirrel gods, like, Lord, let me out of this. I promise, you know. And I can't imagine what he's telling all of his little squirrel friends right now. But he was a chatterbox. And it took forever. And we finally get him in a tote, and he destroyed my whole house. It looked like I was ransacked. And we get him outside, and he just kind of stood there after we let him out of the tote. He just kind of stood there and stared at us like, is that it? Is that all you're going to do? I'm not Squirrel Stew. He was in shock. I'm like, get out of here. And he took off running. And I was asking my friends, how do you catch a squirrel? How do you catch a squirrel? How do you catch a squirrel? Someone said, why didn't you just open the door and let him out? Because I have cats that would have gotten out. That is why I didn't open the door. But no, seriously, open the door and let the sucker out. I couldn't let my cats out, though. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I'm chasing him through the kitchen. I'm chasing him through the laundry room. I'm chasing him down the hall. I'm chasing him. We got our cardio in that day. Let me tell you. We got our cardio in that day. Let's get started on this. That was a crazy ride, though. Let me tell you. Crazy. I have never had to deal with squirrels in the house. You know how he got in? Through the little ventilation. The fan that's above the toilet. And I don't know how he got in there, but he got in. This is an old house. I live in an old house. It was built in 1900. So Lord only knows how he got in. I've got an attic upstairs. I've got a basement. That's the ninth gate of hell downstairs. It is partly mud, partly cement. And like when you go down, and I have to go down there to change the air filter on the furnace. And when you go down there, like when you get down the creepy stairs, you can turn around, you can see the old pot furnace that used to be there. It was a boiler, and it was made out of like, what is that? Cast iron. And you can see it. It's been cemented into the ground, into new foundation work, because we had them come and check out the foundation, and they said the foundation's good. They laid new foundation down. You're good for another 100 years. But you can see the old boiler that's down there. And then if you go to the right of my basement, there's this skinny little doorway, and there's this hole like to hell. And there's a huge 50-gallon barrel. And I mean, this sucker is metal. And we tried to bring it through, and it is too big to bring through the skinny little doorway. So we went and we took a sledgehammer to try to sledgehammer it down, and that sucker ain't sledgehammering down because it is old. It is an old 50-gallon drum, and I don't know how to get it out of my basement. But then you go to the other side, and that's where we put in a new 50-gallon hot water heater. We've got our new central air conditioner and heater down there. All the pipes for the plumbing are down there. But you can go down and around the corner. And I'm not going over there because it's dark and fucking scary. Oh, it's scary down there. I'm not doing it. You got me messed up. It's bad enough. I tell my husband, you need to come with me to change this air filter. I can't see anything. That's the problem. He can't see anything. He's blind. So he can't see where to change the goddamn air filter. So I have to go down there. It sucks being a man. It sucks. Those poor men having to go down to the ninth circle of hell because a couple years ago our pipes froze. That hadn't happened since I lived in Michigan, Ionia, Michigan. And we lived in a trailer house there. And my daughter, my oldest, was about 2.5 years old, and it blizzarded. It had a blizzard so bad. This was back in 97, that it was 40 below outside, and the wind gusted that snow up so bad it buried our trailer, and we were stuck in that trailer for 2 weeks till we could dig out of the window, out of the top window to get out of the trailer because we were just completely buried in a snowdrift. And yeah, so that time my pipes froze, but it was really freaking cold, and I don't know who's dumb enough to put a trailer in the middle of a field in Ionia, Michigan, where the snowdrifts come up 10 feet high, 12 feet high. But they sure did. They sure did. They were just a smart group of people. You know, we don't talk about Bruno. That was a lifetime ago. I mean, a lifetime ago. Because I actually left Michigan and came to Kansas via my oldest friend, who got me a bus ticket to get the hell out of Dodge. Get the hell out of there. Oh my God, she saved my life. She saved my life because I probably would have died out there. I probably would have been buried somewhere in that 5-acre plot of land that they owned. And I just, you know, when I think about my life, I was born and raised in Southern California, and here I am in my 50s in Burlington, Kansas. Burlington. It's 40 miles from anywhere. You have to go up I-75 for at least 15 miles before you can hit a highway that'll take you another 20 miles one way to Emporia, one way to Ottawa, or 40 miles to go north to hit Topeka, because there is nothing out here. I mean, nothing. The sidewalks roll up at about 5 o'clock. Yeah, it is a podunk town. And I tell you what, I'm kind of loving it. I really do like it here. I like my job. I think we're just going to go for a light purple look. I'm actually going to go talk to the jailers because they have posted that they need cooks to apply. And while I'm not really wanting to leave my job, they're offering a lot more money. It's working for the county and the benefits sound a lot better. And I really have to consider it. I mean, I've been at my job. It'll be 6 years come this month, March. And I really appreciate that. It's the longest I've ever worked at a job without getting fired. I worked at another job for about 10 years, but I was fired 7 times. I was in my addiction and I was always getting drunk or high and getting in trouble. So they kept hiring me though because I was a good worker. I called the owner Dad. He was a great guy. He took real good care of me. And sadly, he passed away before I had ever had a chance to make an amends to him. But he took real good care of me, and I loved him a lot, and I loved his whole family. And I just was lost. I was lost in my addiction. And he was good people. He really was. It's crazy to think that I've got all this time clean and sober. In January, I celebrated my 20 years, and that was quite a milestone. And I am truly blessed today. Now, I just went in with a nice brown shade for my crease, for my transition color, a light tan shade. I'm using the Willy Wonka palette again. And I went in with the Fizzy Lifting Drink. Then I went in with Golden Ticket for the lighter pink color. And now I'm into chocolate for the darker purple color. And then we're going to get some shimmers on. And the darker purple color is just to give me some depth in the outer corner. And the lighter pink shade transitions that depth real nicely so that it's just not an abrupt dark color. So for those of you that are truly trying to learn, I know there's at least one, because she's a friend of mine and she says she's been watching my videos. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, so that's a nice soft. I think we're at a nice spot right there. And I'm going to go see a friend in Emporia today, so gosh, I'm just addicted to those duochromes. Yesterday I did that green colored look, and I will put up a tutorial on that. I did have someone ask to do that. I'll probably do it tomorrow when I get off work because I work this weekend. Let's get some glitter glue on there. Helps with the fallout a lot. And it sticks the glitter glue on there because I have hooded eyes and they're oily. And so as you age, you get more crinkles and wrinkles in your eyes, and there's not too much you can do about it. You can preserve them while you're young and use the products out there on the market today. They truly do work. They truly do, because I could look a lot older than I look. And it's because I've always taken really good care of my skin. I probably could have done a lot better now that I mention it, but especially the last 20 years, I have really taken to the eye creams and the anti-aging stuff. And if you do it while you're young, it prevents it from happening so much. Does that make sense? Like if you're in your 20s, use the eye creams that go under your eyes, that go around your eyes. Use the facial moisturize. Moisturize. It keeps your pores smaller longer, because while your pores don't grow, they do seem to open up as you get older. And so that's where all the blurring stuff comes in. And young women don't have that. They don't realize they don't have that. They just feel like they have to look like a TikTok filter all the time. And that's not normal. Your skin doesn't look like that. It looks like this. And that's okay. You know, there are going to be times, you know, especially for young women who go out and party and stuff, and they're going to look like this the next day. That's especially when you use that moisturizing stuff. It will bounce back, especially if you're in your 20s. But you want to take care of your face and your neck and your skin. Your skin is the largest organ on your body, and it is resilient. And so you have to use SPF, especially when you're young, or you'll end up with spots on your face. See, I've got, they're not H spots, that's sun spots. And so you just have to take care of your skin, you know, and the older you are, the more you take care of it, the less you'll age yourself. So I'm going in with ultraviolet here in the darker part. And this is of my radioactive palette. I just love that blue purple shift that it gets. Isn't that pretty? And I use my fingers because it gets the most impact on there for me. I don't have a good set of brushes. I want to get the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brushes, but that's going to be an investment that I have to save some money up for. I was thinking of using some of my tax returns, but we're going to put that in savings because we've got some traveling we want to do. So I'm going to have to save my coins. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the new ABH Impeccable Foundation. But I don't know that I need it because I have my Revlon Color Stay, which is amazing. Why fix it if it ain't broke? And I've got to tell you, this Maybelline Lumi Matte 30-Hour Super Stay Foundation. Now, if you're on dope, you're going to be wearing it 30 hours. Let's be real. People don't stay up that long. But I'm telling you, this stuff works beautiful. And it works even better when you pair it with the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. This primer, I use it in my T-zone, especially where I get oily, just like that. And then because I'm bougie, I'll use a Secure the Blur or the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is only like 12 bucks. And this one's 10. And it stays all day from 4:30 in the morning till, let's see, yesterday I wore it till 8:30 at night because I had running around to do after I got off work. I didn't have a chance to touch up. I didn't have a chance to stop and check out my makeup. My eyes were looking a little worn, and I had that beautiful green color on my eyes, and it was not looking so nice at 8 o'clock at night, but it lasted all day. I didn't get any creasing with the glitter because I used the NYX glitter glue. I didn't get any creasing with the primer, with the eyeshadow because I used the primer. And with hooded eyes like this, that's what'll happen is it'll get bunched up in your hoods of your eyes. So I always take it above the hood of my eyes so that I can see some of the color because it'll disappear. And then I take it all the way in. And so with that blinking all the time, it's gonna want to crease up. And with these primers, it won't crease up over time. It lasts all day. And it's beautiful. And I just, you know, when I was a kid, I am eyeliner and lighter years old. We used to have to heat up the eyeliner just to get it in the water line because it wouldn't go in there. You had to heat it up. It was a crayon, and it was almost a charcoal that needed to be warmed up just to get it to go on your water line because makeup wasn't as advanced in the 80s as it is today. And just, I'm addicted to these colors. Ugh. Let's get back to work. I'm going to go in with Quantum. That's a nice dark purple, purpley blue. Look at that. See how it shifts? Oh, that's so pretty. Yes. I just love doing these videos because it gives me an outlet. I know I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to the phone, but oh, that's so pretty. And but I feel like I'm talking to someone, even if it's just myself right now. I'm talking to myself, and that's okay. You know, I'm a little crazy. I'm certifiable. I was diagnosed with general anxiety, major depressive disorder, and borderline personality disorder. And I didn't find that out till after I got clean and was in recovery. And I wouldn't have found that out if I didn't get clean. Now, what I've learned about myself since I've been clean is that, well, for one, I was a very, very angry person. I was so angry, and I didn't know why I was angry. The other thing I learned, though, is that something like borderline personality disorder, that happens to you as it's a product of a person's environment. It's how you were raised. And my childhood was rough. And I'm not saying it's my parents' fault. We grew up in the 80s. We survived. I survived the Night Stalker. I have been raped. I have been mugged. I have been kidnapped. It happens in Southern California. It happens everywhere. And I survived my childhood. When I say I survived my childhood. And all of those things follow you if you don't get help. And I didn't get help because, well, I was scared to say anything, you know. I was terrified that my kidnapper would come back. I was terrified of the police that attacked me. I was terrified, you know, of my uncle. And it was a rough childhood, to say the least. That being said, I got through it. I survived. And the following mental health issues that I had to get help for, and I did. That's why it's so easy for me to talk about it today, you know, because I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I was. That woman did what she had to do to survive, and she got me where I'm at today. And she made a lot of mistakes along the way. I am going in with high energy because that's just so pretty. It's a lighter color. It doesn't have a base color, but it's got a blue-green shift. I just love these colors. Oh, I wish I had them back in the 80s when I was in beauty college. That would have been lovely. I think I would have stuck around beauty college. Well, you know, and I've shared this, that I thought I had to have some sort of license to do makeup. And I didn't. Not to just do makeup. To cut hair and to work on people's faces like with skincare, you had to have an esthetician's license. And they teach you about the chemicals and stuff that you're using on people's faces. But you don't have to have a license to do makeup. You have to have a general knowledge of hygiene, of keeping products clean, of, you know, using, like if you're going to do makeup on another person, you have to have all clean materials. You can't just pour on their face. You've got to use a palette. You've got to use clean products that aren't used on other people's skin, things like that. And I knew that. I just thought I couldn't do it because I never got my license. So, lo and behold, what had happened was I got pregnant when I was really still wanting to follow my passion, which was makeup. I was living in Seattle, Washington. This was in the early 90s when the grunge scene was around. Oh, it was amazing. It was so much fun. I really like that. What do you think? Does that look good? I think our eyes are done. And yeah, so I was living in a town called Shelton, Washington, which is about 60 miles from Seattle. And I was working at a Wendy's, and I was living with my grandparents who lived in Washington. And they were the sweetest, most wonderful people. I tell you what, they learned how to be self-sufficient people before eco-friendly people were even thought of. You know, like today they talk about how we have to recycle, renew, reuse. My grandparents were self-sufficient. They had gardens and they had canned all their foods and vegetables. You know, they up until a certain age, my grandma made her own bread. The only thing they went to the store for was meat and bread, you know, and flour. They didn't eat canned goods because they canned their own. You know, they grew their own potatoes, their own onions, all the vegetables you can think of. They grew it. The fruit. Oh my God. They always had blueberries and blackberries and raspberries because it grew so beautifully out there in Washington. I remember it was amazing. And I was living in Washington when I met Captain Stupid. And I was dumb enough to get pregnant. And not that getting pregnant and having a child was a bad thing, because I don't regret my daughter. She is an amazing young lady, and she's been through hell. She survived my addiction, and I commend her for being able to live the life she lives today. Growing up, how she grew up, I was not the best mother, and it is what it is. And I've made my amends to her many times over, and I still get the guilt. You know, it's this stuff. I was wondering what was peeling. It's the Milani. It peels a little bit as you spread it out. Uh-huh. So you have to really get it blended into your skin. I see, she said. Okay. Today we're going to go in with the Revlon Color Stay. See if I can get any more out of this bottle. Clean my hand before I put makeup on it. I always try to get the most out of these little bottles because makeup's expensive, and I can see more makeup in the bottle, and I want to get it all out. I'm one of those empty ketchup bottles in the fridge because there's a little bit in there, and I'm just like, it's got to come out. I got to get my money's worth. I don't know if you know people like that. And then there are people that'll come in and go, it's empty. Throw it away and get a new bottle. My daughter, my youngest, is like that. Mama, it's empty. Get rid of the bottles. Okay. But I always think I can get just one more pump out. And anyways, I was living in Washington when I had my daughter. And we ended up moving to a place called Ionia, Michigan with her father. He was abusive, and I thought it would help him to be around his dad instead of his mother. Mostly because I didn't like his mom because she was mean. She didn't like my daughter. She didn't like her own granddaughter because she was a girl and not a boy. And I was an instigator to her. She said I was an instigator. I instigated things, and I upset her son. And she said she told him not to hit me so much. Can you imagine? I was 20 years old, and she was cleaning up my bruises and my cuts on my face. Well, I've told him not to hit you so much, but you instigate so many fights with him. You know, I felt like I caused all that it was my fault, that I did that. And, you know, if you're in one of those relationships, it's not your fault, and you can get out. It felt like I couldn't get out. It felt like I could turn to no one. I didn't turn to my family, which I should have. I should have ran away from that son of a bitch and went to my family. Looking back on it, you know, hindsight's 2020. I wanted my daughter to have a father. I didn't want her to not know who her father was. All that jazz that, you know, you're young, dumb, and full of cum. You do the stupidest shit in the world. Especially when you think you're in love. Lord have mercy, I did not dampen my sponge. Hold, please. And I'm back. Got the sponge damp. Let's finish up this makeup, shall we? Where was I? Oh, yeah. In the middle of my brutal, abusive ex story. Mind you, this all happened 30 years ago. In the 90s. The 90s was 30 years ago. Where did my life go? Oh my God, the 90s was 30. Shut the front door. It feels like yesterday. It really does. Oh my gosh, I'm so old. I lived through the 90s, which was a beautiful time, especially after I got rid of that toxic relationship. And what had happened was my friend from high school had moved here to Kansas. And one day I was in a horrible fight with the ex, and he dragged me down the end of the hallway, and he told me to call my dad that I was leaving. So I called my dad and I told him that I needed a bus ticket or something to get the hell out of there. And the whole time he's behind me saying, you got to get the fuck out of here, and da 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 da. It was just awful. And Daddy asked, what about the baby? I was like, I'm not leaving her. And he said, you're not taking her. And he hung up the phone, and we got into a huge fight. And after that was over, he loved me again, and I wasn't going anywhere. So my daddy had called back and asked what was going on. And I told him maybe we would go up to California in the summer to visit them, but everything was fine now, and I wasn't going to be going anywhere. Anyways, Daddy got a hold of my girlfriend who lived here in Kansas, who was ready to get me a bus ticket the hell out of Dodge. A couple weeks later, he got arrested for violating a PFA that I had put on him because we were together and he wasn't supposed to be near me. And he got arrested, and I had to drive home with the baby. And I drove home, and I started thinking, he's in jail. So I called the jail. They said, no, he's not going to get out until at least Tuesday because it was a holiday weekend. He has to speak with a magistrate. There's no bailing him out. No, ma'am, there's no bailing him out. He's there all weekend. He's there all weekend. I hung up the phone and I started shaking from head to toe. I could leave. He's going to stay in jail all weekend. So I called my dad, shaking the whole time. And he got a hold of my friend who wired me a bus ticket. And I drove, I can't remember where I drove to. It was somewhere in Michigan to get to the bus depot. And I packed a big tote, and I packed a duffel bag, one of those army duffel bags, and my daughter, and we left. And we got on the bus. And I remember I was shaking the whole time, just expecting him to pull up. And if he caught me packing, he'd have killed me. I was so scared. I was so scared. And I got on the bus, and I remember I was in Chicago, Illinois, and I called my girlfriend because the bus was taking me to Kansas, to Wichita, Kansas. And I was on the Greyhound, and you could see Halley's Comet out the window because Halley's Comet was flying by that year. And I remember watching that comet, wondering what was going to happen to me and my daughter, especially if he caught us. And I just didn't think he would get out of jail. But I get to Chicago, Illinois, and this is Friday night around 1:30 in the morning. And because I got on that bus Friday afternoon, and her husband answered the phone and said, yeah, your husband's on his way down here. He got out of jail and he's following you. So he followed me here. Yeah. Yeah. I just was shocked, and I didn't know what to do but keep riding the bus to Wichita. He showed up 2 days later, And I was so happy when he wasn't around. And I remember I got this job at the place I was telling you about that I got fired 7 times. And I was a waitress. And he came up there, and it was just around the corner from where we lived. And it was within walking distance. And my boss said, "Oh, I can give her a ride home. You don't have to stay." Because she didn't want him to stay after we closed at 2 in the morning. "Oh, no, it's no problem. I don't mind walking her home." And so we got home, and my girlfriend had another roommate there who was pregnant at the time. And we get into the dining room, and he takes my purse and dumps it out like he always does. And he takes all the money, and he's leaving me the pennies and nickels, and he's even taking the quarters. And she comes out of the bathroom, and she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" He said, "I'm cleaning out her purse." I didn't know men weren't supposed to go in your purse. I didn't know that. It was normal for him to go through everything I owned and take everything, and it was his. And yeah, the abuse started back up, but he was quiet about it, and he made sure that the bruises weren't seen. And about a week later, I came home, and he wasn't there, and my friend said, "He's got to go. He has got to go." And I started to cry, and I said, "Are you sure it's not me?" "No, Susie, he's got to go." I thought I was the problem, and I needed verification that it was me. And when she said, "He's got to go," I said, "Lord, please make him go." And so her husband, who is a Marine, 1st Recon Battalion, one bad motherfucker, they made him leave. And then I got an attorney pro bono because we had to deal with having a child together. I wanted him to sign off his parental rights, and he didn't want to do that. And I had to wait for an attorney to take my case pro bono because he had contacted the prosecuting attorney's office, and they couldn't help me. And I just knew they were going to believe him. They were going to believe his lies, and he was going to take my daughter from me. And what had happened was the attorney, I think her name was Lynn Ward at the time, she came and she said she was taking my case, and that usually she's on the opposite side of the case, dealing with the offenders who are the abusers, and she takes their side. And I lost it. And I said, "Oh, so you're just going to believe him? You're just going to believe everything he said, and it's just all about him, isn't it?" And I started to freak out. And she said, "No, what I'm saying is I know both sides of the law." Well, it turned out she happened to be the president of the Women's Association of Attorneys in Wichita at the time. And she charged quite a bit of money, and I got her all day for free. And she sharked his ass. And she got him to sign off parental rights because he didn't want to have to pay child support. And regardless where he was going to have to pay child support. So he signed off his parental rights and went back to Washington State, where I met him, to live with his mother for the remainder of his days. And I got to live with my daughter. And I tell you, it still chokes me up. It still puts fear in me talking about it. But recently I got a call from my daughter that had told me that her dad had passed away. And she had tried to get a relationship with him years ago, but he never changed. He was always the same person he was when he was with me. So it wasn't me, it was him. And he died in addiction. And while I'm sorry for the addict who died, I'm grateful. I'm not sad that he's gone. I'm not sad. And part of me thought, I can go back to Washington. I can go back home, because he's not there anymore. Oh, what a crazy ride. What a crazy life. Oh, and I forgot to put on that liquid blush again. I'm so used to setting my makeup as fast as I can that I forget about the liquid products. Okay, so I've set my makeup. Trusty Coty Airspun. It is talc free. I know it's got a big fragrance on it, but I don't mind the fragrance, and it's talc free. And you get a full ounce of this for $6.50, whereas a lot of the other ones that are $20 and $30, you don't get a full ounce worth. You get maybe a tenth of an ounce. You get a third of an ounce. You don't get even a half of an ounce. So, maybe if I get this job where I make more money, I might be able to invest in maybe some Huda Beauty, which would work better on my skin as it ages. But I can't do that right now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to stick with my tried and true, my Coty Airspun, and it works. And yeah, my Coty Airspun works. Oh, I got some dandruff. Sorry about that. My Coty Airspun works, and that little sucker, let me get that out of there. Okay, throw it in the garbage. And so does this Milani Make It Last. This is a 6-ounce bottle. You get it for $15 at Walmart. Now, they have all kinds of bottles of setting spray for anywhere from $10 to $45. They're 2 ounces. This is a 6-ounce bottle for $15. And it works. Now, I don't get the black labeled one. I got that once. And they had reformulated it and put charcoal in it and sprayed gray all over my face. Get the Make It Last original, or if you want a shinier finish, a dewy finish, they have a dewy setting spray. I like the larger bottle, and I like the original. And yeah, that's my TED Talk for you on cheap setting spray. All right, we're almost done. Let me get Trusted Wander Beauty, because this is a nice little face palette. It's got 2 bronzers and 2 blushes. As you can see, she's greatly loved. She was gifted to me by a coworker, and yeah, it was almost brand new when I got her, but I've blushed out and didn't realize that I could use these as bronzers. I thought they were darker blushes. So now I'm using these too, because you got to use what you got. You got to utilize your tools and see what works. Go in with a lighter hand, and it won't be too dark. You know what I mean? And have the patience to blend, blend, blend. Blend it out. And that'll give you just a little carved out area there on your face. Just a little carving. That's probably too dark for me, but I do it anyways because I want it to last. I go in with a kind of a heavy hand too, but I get it up in your hairline. I know it sucks to have makeup in your hair, but I'm not a professional, and it doesn't bother me. My hair's so curly, can't see it anyway. See? Just like that. Then you get your blush brush, trusty little blush brush. And I still go into these little blushes because there's still product there. I see it coming out, and I use them both. All right, I tapped. I like to see my blush on my face. If it's called blush blindness, it's called blush blindness. I know that Emily Noel, she wears hers pretty dark, so I know I'm not doing anything wrong by wearing it dark. And Nikki LaRose said we need to stop calling people out and saying that they have blush blindness. If they want to wear their blush heavy, that's up to them. And it's up to me if I want to wear it heavy or light. You go in with just a lighter hand and you build it up. But I like to hurry up. I don't have the patience to blend. And blend and blend. And if I could fast forward this part of the video, believe me, I would. And I'll learn that. Just give me time. I'll figure out how the editing process works. Right now I'm using CapCut on my phone, and it does pretty good rendering my videos for me. But I don't know how to go through, and I went to school for this, and I know that you can scrub through to a point and then just edit it to where it's just speeding through that part that you don't want. But I don't have the software for it. I don't even have it. This is all done on my phone. So I don't even have the editing software, let alone a computer to do that with. And so for now, we are just going to play the whole video. So it's like a Nikki Uncut, only this is Susie Uncut. And I hope you like it. And I really, really appreciate my viewers, and I really, really do appreciate the comments and that you've taken the time to watch this all the way through. I'm not very good at just discussing makeup yet. I'm not a salesman. I'm a cook. I work in kitchens, food service, my whole adult life. And I know the front and back of the house really well. I could be a manager, but I don't have a degree. I know you got to have a degree for everything. They don't call them bartenders anymore. I used to be a bartender. But I quit drinking back when they only had one flavor of vodka and one flavor of Crown Royale. That was vodka flavor vodka and Crown. It wasn't apple Crown, peach Crown. It was none of that stuff. Crown was a second tier alcohol. It wasn't bar brand, and it wasn't the most expensive, but it wasn't the cheapest one, and it was a mid-tier one, and it didn't have foo-foo flavors. And I really don't appreciate how alcohol has become marketed to children. And I say that because I've seen commercials where you don't even know there's alcohol. They call it hard lemonade or hard apple cider. The kids wanted that. They thought it was lemonade and apple cider. And I'm like, no, that's got alcohol in it. You can't have that. Get over yourself. You know, they were like, oh, that looks good. No, you can't have that. That's alcohol. And, you know, the kids, when they were little, didn't know that it wasn't soda. And I live in Kansas, and they don't sell liquor in the stores, in the grocery stores, but they do sell beer and hard lemonade and stuff like that. And the kids thought it was something they could put in the cart and drink when they were little. And it's not. You know, I go to Omaha and we go into Walmart, and they have kiosks of alcohol and all kinds of stuff. And you go to the Casey's and they have whiskey and Fireball and everything on the shelves. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Because at my Casey's, they don't sell that. They're not allowed to. So it's just not something that's done in Kansas. In fact, we used to not sell alcohol on Sundays. I remember that too. You had to get your alcohol Saturday night because they wouldn't sell it on Sundays. And they definitely, the only beer that they sold in when I moved here in the grocery store was 3.2 beer. They call it 3.2 beers, 3.2 alcohol by volume. A regular can of beer is 6%. And the beer that was sold in the grocery stores was only 3.2. And everybody knew that. It was just a thing, you know. So it's been a while because they sell whatever now almost. They just don't sell hard alcohol in the grocery stores yet. They haven't gotten there. Of course, Kansas pot's not legal either. And that bothers me too, you know, that that stuff is becoming legal everywhere. And when I was a kid, I loved it, but I wouldn't call it a gateway drug. But I was an addict, and for me, it wasn't good. And I know that for some people, they can smoke a little of it and walk away from it, and it does, you know, they're fine. I'm an addict, and I know if I smoke a little bit of it, I'm going to go get some meth, and I'm going to, you know, blow up my life. Um, for me, I can't even take a drink, not one. So I don't, and I'm okay with that. You know, my vice today is energy drinks. Because at my age, after I turned 50, it's like my check engine light came on my body, and whoo, girl, I am out of energy all the time, all the time. Oh my gosh, you lose your metabolism. And I'm thinking that what I need to do is go to the gym and get some more exercise, and maybe that'll help. But I'm so tired. You know, I'm so tired in the afternoon after getting up at 3:30 in the morning that I don't want to go throw on some sweats and go to the gym. I just don't. And what's really cool is here in Burlington, we have this beautiful gym, and it's got a walking track, it's got treadmills, it's got ellipticals, it's got a weight room, it's got a swimming pool, everything. And anybody who lives within the town of Burlington, they get a free membership. So it's not like I have to pay for a gym membership. I've got a gym right here that I can use. I just don't. But maybe, you know, I've lost quite a bit of weight. Maybe I will start going to the gym, and maybe that will help me. You know, my doctor thought I needed to do a sleep study. And I said, a sleep study? He goes, yeah, you might need a CPAP machine. Have you been told you snore? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he said, you might not be getting enough sleep, and that's why your energy is low. So we did a sleep study, and it turned out normal. So it's not that I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm getting plenty of sleep. I don't need a CPAP machine. And I was really, it was bothering me thinking of sleeping like that. Are you kidding me? Honey, give me a kiss. I've got the alien on my face. I was scared. I didn't want to have to wear that. But you know, if it improved my health, I would have, you know. And that's the difference today is, while it bothers me, I'm still going to try it if it's going to be something that's healthy, that's going to improve my health, you know. So yeah, I'm thinking it's looking like diet and exercise is what I need to do to get some energy. And yeah, that's where we land today. All I got left to do is putting on mascara, and y'all know how to do that, so I don't have to help you with that. Oh, let's put some lips on. I'm going to do this combination. I've got the Revlon Color Stay Multi-Liner. It's got the little brush on the end. And this one is, I cannot read it. I cannot read it. Oh my gosh. Number 006 Dynamic Doer. That's the name of it. It is a nice coffee brown, but not too dark. Can you see that? It's a nice nude, and it goes beautifully with this Revlon Apricot Nude Color Lippy. I love using lipsticks. I don't like liquid lips because my hands, I feel like they go all over the place. I can't even draw a straight line anymore. Not that I ever could. All right. Now for the hard part, my upper lip. That disappears when you smile, so don't smile when you're putting makeup on because your upper lip will disappear. Okay. It's a very, very, very light color. I need it just a hair darker. But the other one I got that's darker is in this coffee color, and this is the Lifter Liner from Maybelline, and it is too dark for my skin. And I hate that. I hate trying to find the right color because you end up wasting money on product that you can't use. I'm going to have to go back in and look for a darker color. Oh, shoot. This is the pink one. That don't look too bad. That don't look too bad. Here's the apricot one that I like. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I like that one. But I've already got the pink one on, and I'm not going to take the time to wash it off because everything else is done. My lifter gloss. And that completes the look. All right, everybody, what do you think? Oh, no! I don't have my eyebrows on. All right, I have to do my eyebrows, but we're going to wrap this up. It's already been an hour, and I've got to get to see my girlfriend in Emporia, which is 40 minutes from here. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you. Gosh, I didn't put my eyebrows on. Okay, I'm going to put my eyebrows on. I'm going to put my mascara on, and I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking around. If you've been here this whole time, oh my gosh, I really, 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 really appreciate you. Oh my gosh, it's been it's been therapeutic to talk about, you know, the past and everything that happened. And, you know, I've been able to raise two children, two little girls who have never known me high. And I'm so grateful. And I have Kansas to thank for that, you know, and my girlfriend who saved my life and got me out of that horrible, horrible relationship. And so, yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will get a short up on this look. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.